like, all right, here we go. Let's see what Commissioner brings out here.
With the first pick in the 2024 NBA draft, the Atlanta Hawks select Zaccharie Risacher.
Bang.
I like the way he really tried to pronounce that name.
Yeah.
Zaccharie Risacher. Love this pick in terms of we are both at, I have him at 2 on my board. You have him at 3 on your board.
Yeah.
There are, like I said, people who have him outside the top 10 on their boards. They don't see the self-creation. They don't see they think the shooting is kind of inconsistent. They think it's kind of fluky, and it was at for Spurs. But he also played nearly 60 games last year, and with that being the case, he was going to have ups and downs. He's a young kid, and I just think this is a justified pick. That's what I think.
I completely agree.
I think he deserves to be the number 1 pick in this draft, in a draft where there is not a consensus number 1.
And you mentioned the 61 games. I think that actually speaks volumes to what he's been able to do, because he did have the high and lows. And with those highs and lows, you had a good average. And with his average, he shot 39% from 3. And I don't think that shot creation or even necessarily playmaking, which are 2 weaknesses I have for him, is that bad of a weakness if he plays the game that I think he needs to play it. And if he's like a Rashard Lewis or even like an MPJ, like, I think that's a good player to get, especially in this draft. And on top of that, I think he still can try to develop those shot creation skills.
Yeah, and he had some like nice 1-2s. Counters to like closeouts that I really liked. Side steps, step backs. Like, he's not just this stationary 3-point shooter here. He can do it on the move. He can do it from some range. He's a big dude, obviously at 6'8" with long arms. So, do you buy the defense? Like, how do you evaluate him as like a defensive player? Because we hear the word like team defender a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
like help side.
It's a very general, it's a generalized thing that you can say. I think for him, it's going to be the help side. I think he's a really good shot blocker on the help side. I don't think he's bad on ball, but he definitely needs to get quicker on ball. But in terms of team defending, I think help side defense, there was a few really good blocks. And not only that, I think passing lanes, I think he really thrived in the open court, at least in terms of being aggressive and getting down. So if that's the team defense aspect, it's not necessarily anything that's super on ball yet, which I guess is a weakness, a point of attack thing.
Yeah, and like as you can see from a couple highlights, like he does have nice little 1-2s. He has some moves in his bag that he's able to go to. I think just as he gets older, I think he's going to naturally fill out physically, and that'll allow him to get downhill, get to the paint, and just get more comfortable with the ball in his hands. He played on a pretty good team in France, JL Borg, and like he wasn't shy. Like it didn't look like he was overwhelmed a lot of the time. So I feel, and the higher level competition he played at, he again shot really well on like over 5 threes per game.
Yeah.
When you see a guy that's 6'8", 6'9", that can shoot the ball the way he can shoot the ball, and shows flashes of being a really good defender, I'm good betting on that.
Yep.
I'm 100% good betting on that. Like, again, in a normal draft, maybe not. Like, he's not going number 1 last year. He's not, he's not going even number 2 last year, or 3. But in this draft, I'm cool with it.
Where do you think the Hawks move from here after you get Risacher instead of an Alex Sarr? We kind of alluded to that before, but
yeah, it's the Trae Young situation is just ultimately what you have to go by. We haven't heard none about DeJounte Murray at this point. Hawks fans will let us know like what they think. But if they trade Trae Young, keep DeJounte, they're not going to be great next year. You have Risacher, you have like a couple of young pieces. I know Jalen Johnson's had a good year last year, so they like him. But like ultimately, the Hawks are going to kind of be in this position again next year with 2025. I don't think they're going to be pushing for the playoffs if they trade Trae Young. So
yeah, I completely agree.